and Nathan Syfrig. They are principals at, I think, Edward, your title is chairperson, is it?
I'm chairperson of our board,
Yeah.
as the Job Hackers is a nonprofit organization.
Okay,
And
cool.
I've been keeping things, keeping the ship moving in the right direction as best we
Gotcha.
can.
Gotcha. Yeah, so they're here to talk about, what is the Job Hackers, and more importantly, their primary product or offering is a class called the Agile MBA, which is something that's applicable not just to product owners or Scrum Masters, but also developers and UI UX designers and data scientists. It's really applicable to anybody that that needs to work in a team and to understand, what are the team skills and dynamics, but also, there's some productivity information here on how do you get things done in a team. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Edward and Nathan and let you get started.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much, Jim. Nathan, always glad to have you here as my compatriot in our Chingu, our representative both at Chingu and through the Job Hackers. I'm not going to call you our Chingu czar, but there's something that we're happy to be able to have you here for, whatever the case may be. I think there's a better term that we could use. Welcome, everyone. My name's Edward Gordon. I'm here on behalf of the Job Hackers. We are an organization that has given away over $6.5 million in training and free training, primarily through what we like to call our Agile MBA, which we're here to talk about to you today, because this is an opportunity that we offer 4 times a year, that for the first 3 weeks prior to the start of it, we have completely free enrollment, and I want to be able to give you the chance to be able to engage with that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It will give you the full opportunity here. Give me 1 second to be able to pull that up.
Yeah, and for those of you that have joined just in the past few minutes, I just want to let everybody know we are recording this session. So later today, we'll make it available on YouTube.
Yeah. So wanted to be able to say welcome to everyone. Before we get started, who here has heard of the Job Hackers as an organization? Who here's heard of the Agile MBA? It seems like some folks might have some folks are already signed up. Some folks are registered. I'm also interested in just finding out a little bit more about that. I think, Jim, if you can post that poll, that might be a helpful way for us to be able to find out more. No, we're just going to let that poll run for a quick second. But if anyone wants to go off mute and be able to just speak to what they've heard about the Job Hackers, we can be able to talk about that real quick. We are being recorded, so if people want to stay in the chat, that also makes sense. Do we have any brave souls today? All right, not a problem. We have quite a few more people that are new to the idea here today, seeing the numbers that are coming in. Not a problem at all. So, as I've said, we've given away over $6.5 million in training. More than 3,500 participants have completed our Agile MBA course by our measures of completion, and I've seen quite a few bit more enrolled, because what we offer with our Agile MBA is a remote set of live presentations and live courses facilitated by teachers that are actively practicing areas of Agile and knowledge work in the industry right now, and that are looking to be able to pay it forward and build on their community and be able to give people the chance to be able to upskill and learn more about kind of what it is to not only improve and understand. We have a number of people on here that are participating in Chingu on Chingu voyages as developers, or maybe people that are UX or data scientists. Maybe we have a few that are even project managers, scrum masters, product owners. Everything that we are providing in this Agile MBA, which is a 6-week course, is one, while we're doing open enrollment, everything is free to be able to join. But it's a 6-week course that happens for 90 minutes that you can access remotely and facilitated on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7:30 in the morning to 7:30 to 9 in the morning. I'm going to be repeating all of this later on, but I'm just giving people a good picture of things here. What we do as an organization and what we do in this class, if anyone's had experience with Scrum or anything else, Scrum is one framework that uses a lot of Agile. So when we talk about the Agile MBA, what do we mean by Agile? And why is this not just the same thing that you'd be able to get out of something like a Scrum certification or some other kind of course or class? What we are providing here is much more of the tools and means to be able to help you with being able to make a mindset shift. We want to be able to give you a larger sense of just dipping your toes in this ocean of larger material, but how you can be able to work better as an individual, work better with your teams, and also have better understandings of why, if you're in a organization or working for a corporation, why you may know the right thing that you need to be doing, but you can't seem to get others to be on the same page for doing that right thing. And what it even means to be right and to be producing things of value, and what even is value. Lots of other kinds of questions that we as developers that are on either starting out or that just have a large depth of experience, we're very good at being able to recognize what the right thing to do is. And I'm saying we here. Nathan is our resident developer that's gone through and taken both Job Hackers and Chingu. But we are looking to be able to give you the means to be able to go from creating really good software or creating really good products, whatever it is that you're looking to do, to have a much bigger picture of everything that's going on and seeing the larger systems that are around things. What we're really looking to do is be able to show you that going from, or how powerful it can be to go from taking on particular tasks and completing them and executing them excellently, but being effectively a cook in a kitchen, to being a chef that's seeing the larger preparation of everything that's going on in the restaurant, as one metaphor we might use. Nathan, I'd love it if you've had some experience prior to being a part of Job Hackers, and you've had experience in companies, and then you've had experience that you might be able to bring forward after being a Job Hacker. Could you speak a little bit on that to be able to give people another sense of things, another story?
Sure. And just just a quick overview. I've got decades as a software engineer, software developer, whatever the phrase du jour is for this role. One time we were called programmers. All that good stuff. Everything geeky, technical, and as developers, since I believe there are quite a few in this call, we tend to be in our own little island. So even though we were, our role is problem solving and then finding ways of teaching computers how to address the problems so that we can do the product for the customer. And that's, we're very good at that. And this whole idea of alignment is continuing on Edward's thought that he already presented about we may not get the same page for everybody else in the company. And so what happened to me is we had to change our process. It was a technical process that new rules, they were valid. It was for security reasons. And we as a team, we knew we could automate this. It would take some effort up front. And so we would have to take the time to make this happen. But once it's done, we can kind of set it and forget it. And I was actually one of the ringleaders, but the whole team was unified on this. What happened was we could not justify, we couldn't sell that to the management side for the upfront investment that was needed. And it was a significant project, actually. And so what we wound up doing is everything manually using a spreadsheet to record. And we had to do it at least twice a year with a lot of time wasted for that. So what happened is the fact that I couldn't sell that. I was a developer. I had not started the Agile MBA at that time, had not started the mind shift that the MBA really evangelizes, and for very good reasons. As a result, we weren't in alignment. So we didn't give the company the best solution for what we did. And the whole idea of getting everybody in alignment, hence that word, leveraging two other buzzwords that you learn and probably do to some extent, but the Agile MBA gives you the toolkit to really focus on the communication and the consensus side, so that everybody is on the same page and alignment. And it would have made a difference had I have done it better. And I learned that at the Job Hackers.
Thanks so much, Nathan. We're looking to be able to really help you give that larger sense of you knew that there was the right thing, and even though you saw and you could validate that there was the data, there was the information, there was everything, and you could show why it would be valuable, you couldn't translate that across to the business, and so you couldn't make the changes or even the automations that would allow you to be able to create the best and more consistent and best results. Because it comes down to how it is that we are going about framing that problem, how it is that we can be able to let people know across the organization, and when we are working cross-functional across the organization, why it is that we are making the choices that we're making here. Like I said, here with the Agile MBA, we're here to help turn individuals from cooks into chefs. So we as developers here, it can be very easy for us to be able to look at, product issues, at issues in utility. We make choices in the development process, or as project managers, as product owners, as scrum masters. We can see that choices were made in what we are creating, in how we are making something happen. And there are gaps. There are ways that something's broken, something's blocked, and we can be experts at being able to identify where that puzzle piece should fit within the larger set of puzzles. But when we are looking at hundreds of different puzzle pieces, hundreds of different, how do you prioritize, especially when you have a great deal of incomplete information, a great deal of what is going to be more valuable for the company, the organization. You have a whole bunch of different voices from different stakeholders that are calling from all different places to say where you should be working next. And when it comes down to it, it's going to be much better for you to be deciding where to work next rather than someone just telling you what you should be doing. So part of taking part in the Agile MBA is giving you tools and the means to access resources that work from primary sources, from developers and individuals that have built on their own experiences and really standing on the shoulders of giants to be able to understand how to be able to see the challenges in the systems that you're in, and what really, they're not issues with individual people, but seem to be represented by some of the people that seem to be those kinds of blockers or preventing you from being able to work on the things that are broken. And also how to be able to ship that kind of consistent amount of value from week to week, working in iterations. We mentioned Scrum at the beginning of this. We talk about Agile. When it comes to Agile, a lot of this is being able to, the largest concept of Agile that you're probably going to recall is that we are iterating in smaller chunks of materials so that we can be able to rapidly release and be able to get more feedback and be able to develop. But the reasons why we're doing that and how we can be able to do so are a lot of the tools that you're getting in this free course that we're providing over the next 6 weeks and is starting on February 11th. It's a big question about, are you even doing the right thing? And ways when we're saying, are you even doing the right thing? Talking about that same thing I was talking about. How are you properly prioritizing? How are you iterating and being able to adapt as you are moving through what you are doing? And then also, how do you change course collectively as a team? What working agreements do you have with your individual team members? Is everyone in sync? And are you also examining what your performance is as a team as much as you are examining the work and examining the product? And then looking at who in your team actually is taking accountability, because you shouldn't have someone that's the highest paid person in the room that's deciding what it is you're working on, because they may not have the context to know how long it's going to take or how much effort it's going to take to be able to put into being able to make something happen. And so being able to be sure that you as developers, or if we have Scrum Masters or product owners in this room, or what those particular accountabilities are and learning more about those kinds of accountabilities. And it's much more than that, because it's also about, what do all of your teammates care about? What does the company or management care about? What is their definitions of value? And what are the larger systems that are in play, and even the negative externalities that can be able to impact those cognitive biases that we have? And more so, how do we incentivize everyone up and down the stream? I want to be able to encourage everyone to be able to take this course, because again, I'm saying that this is starting February 11th. We have open enrollment right now. And the classes are live presentations, and we leave the chat open for that, and it's a live facilitated chat. So any questions that you ask during the course, you're free to be able to get more context on any questions you have, or this is about building a community just like you have here at Chingu. And so we have had plenty of individuals that have brought their own experience and been able to communicate that in the chat throughout all these classes and these presentations with the multiple teachers that we've had here. I'm going to leave up this image right here, and I've also put it into the chat if you're looking for some screenshots to be able to learn a little bit more about the Job Hackers. We, as the Job Hackers, are also a full nonprofit that looks to be able to go beyond just offering this Agile MBA experience. We have, along with those Agile MBA classes, and there is a Friday discussion group that we have for those 6 weeks during the class as well, that allows for case studies, as well as preparing for certifications if you are interested in the Scrum Master certifications that are offered by Scrum Alliance or scrum.org. There is also, because that is an excellent entry-level opportunity for those that are looking to be able to take those steps in to be able to become a Scrum Master or more. More so, we also have monthly meetups that are able to take people from across the industry and be able to introduce you to a wide variety of different ideas. And there's also, we are not just a nonprofit organization, we are an entirely volunteer-led and run organization. No one here at this time for the Job Hackers is compensated financially for what we do here. We have an alternative revenue stream, which is to say, or an alternative source of funding ourselves, which is our own goodwill and our means to be able to give back to the community we've just seen how much everyone else benefits when we're all coming up ourselves and coming up together. We're on Blue Sky, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn. All the material that's being put out there and the reminders about other events that we do, as well as the kinds of posts and information about the kinds of things that are showing up in classes, that's all written by our volunteers. And we would love to be able to see you learn a little bit more about the Job Hackers by being sure to follow us on the material that's here, as well as on Blue Sky, and I'll throw those links in the chat as well. I would love to be able to take some questions here, but first and foremost, just reminding you that we'd love to be able to find out, to have you join us for this first quarter course. We're also doing this for 4 times a year. So we're going to have another course, I believe it starts in May, and another 2 courses as well throughout the year. This is a 6-week course. And because it's live, we also do record these and provide you with access to them through our own Slack workspace, a lot like this Discord workspace that we're in. I'm going to go ahead and check some of the questions here, but I wanted to be able to give people a chance to be able to look over what we have. And we're open to taking any questions right now.
Yes, and feel free to ask your questions in the voice channel or in the Town Hall voice chat. Either way is fine.
Seen a number of people that have had a lot of success with this program. It doesn't matter what point you're entering, or you don't need to have even coding experience to be able to benefit from what we are offering here, because it's much more about understanding people and systems and how to be able to work both as an individual and with others that we're presenting here. I'm just taking a look in the chat. It's morning on a Saturday, so not surprised things are a little bit quieter today, but would love to be able to answer any questions, or if anyone wants to contribute their experiences that they've had with the Job Hackers, with the Agile MBA. There are other tools that we offer as well, or other opportunities we offer as well. We do a resume office hours. That's every other Wednesday. We just had one last Wednesday, and we'll be having another one on the 12th February. Just we're trying to be able to find ways to be able to build on this larger community that we have, because especially after you complete the class, we're always a big believer in once you're a job hacker, you're always a job hacker. Omisha, would absolutely be helpful for you as a developer. I think that having a bigger picture of being able to see the larger concerns and also the points that you can be able to influence better decisions among your full team. Because when you're a developer, you're not going to be just an individual that's out there on your own pushing code. You're working with teams, you're working with people. So even if you're solely just someone making things happen in an organization, at a corporation, you having that larger picture of why you're doing it is, and having ownership and being able to self-organize with your team is going to be exceptionally powerful.
I'll jump in and basically say absolutely. And this is somebody I've actually done a pivot from developer to Scrum Master. Although I'm keeping, there's a little bit of once a developer, always a developer in some respects. And it really gives you the holistic company-wide approaches to the code that you want to do, to the best practices, it really hones how you work, as Edward said, as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to
Thank you,
add on to
Nathan.
that, oh, I'm sorry. One benefit that I see is that as developers, we get tied up a lot, and not just developers, but UI UX and whatever our role is. We get tied up and focused on the responsibilities of our role. But when you go out there and you interview, and when you're working in the workplace in a company in a real job, one of the ways you show your value is that you understand, how do I fit into the larger organization, and how can I contribute to the larger goals of the organization or my product? End users don't care
Yeah.
about React Router. They don't care about Node.js. What they care about is, how are you helping them to solve their problem? And I think that's one area where the Agile MBA can help.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you so much, Jim. Andrea, you have a great question here in the chat about, are we discussing real life scenarios? Is an interactive course? The quality of interactivity around it is not only having that live chat that's available where you can be able to ask questions of all across the gamut of whatever the material is that we're presenting, and being able to get that kind of clarity and understanding. But also we do include our Friday discussion groups as a part of this, that really any job hacker alumni could be able to join, as well as individuals in the current class. But where we do have active case studies that are, or discussions around current real world case studies, where you can be able to apply what you've learned on during your Tuesday and Thursday class, and be able to discuss along with your fellow colleagues that are in this, and participants that are in the current course, so that we can be able to better not only verbalize but also utilize the information that we have that's being presented. Yep. The information that we are presenting is being built off of the primary sources that wrote the original understandings of Agile, updated all the way through until, talking about DevOps, talking about craftsmanship, talking about test-driven development, behavior-driven development, all of these larger concepts that are incredibly powerful, up to and including the larger concepts of systems thinking, that a lot of what we're doing actually takes part in, if you look past us being developers and more towards being, humans. Yep. And on this on this spaceship Earth that we're on.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, as someone who actually knew a lot of the teachers for the Agile MBA from industry before I joined Job Hackers, and they were Agile coaches, and they also came from a developer background, so they do present their real life experiences as part of their teaching for the class. So yeah, to answer your question, you bet it's real life scenarios.
Yeah, that's good, because I'm receiving training at the moment to become a Scrum Master, and next week I'm planning to pass the PSM1. But I want the experience, the scenarios, to better understand how everything works, and how to work with the team. So yeah, that's why I was asking this question. Well, because I have the knowledge, the foundation, but I need the experience, the examples of real scenarios.
Well, these are really good resources. These are nationally known and have a long and storied career of consulting with major companies for what they do, and they use that. Like I said, I've talked to some of them several times, because I actually in industry. I actually had a full-time job back then. So these are good resources.
That's great. Great to know. Can't wait to start. I already registered 2 weeks ago. Someone recommend me, so before I knew it, you're gonna talk through Discord and Chingu. I already signed up.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's good to know, and I'm sharing with other people as well to join.
Who recommended you, if I may ask?
Ramona, she's a
Excellent.
software engineer. Yeah, we are in a mentorship program for women in tech, and she recommended me. So
That's
we are
phenomenal.
kind of recommending other women as well to join, but not only women, like everyone.
No, not. But I will say that we have seen about. I think we're at like 67, 68% are those that identify as women or feminine presenting in our course for the 8 years that we've been doing it. I would say a solid 25% are from outside of the United States, and we're in 95 countries. So
we are from UK.
It's very available.
Yeah, we are from UK, so yeah.
Well, we're
we are
very happy that you'll be
to
joining
join.
us and at this time that we have it
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Beruz.
Hi.
Hello, Jim and Edward and all of you. In the middle of the presentation, my laptop hanged. I left and then using different laptop. I want to make sure maybe you respond or not, but for 2 days, maybe for Thursday, the time may not work for me, but I found out it's recorded. And if someone missed one session, then there is a chance to listen to the recorded one, right?
Yes. So the sessions build on one another, so we absolutely recommend you listening and watching those recordings. It's not just a single class. It is over 6 weeks, and there are 12 classes in that course. And every single class is different to be able to give a picture for those that may not have jumped on right away. Want to be able to give you a sense of some of the material that we have in that weeks 1 through 3, as well as 4 through 6, that I can be able to just kind of show a larger picture. We also have dropped a PDF in the town hall chat that gives the same images that we're putting out here to be able to give you a better sense of what shows up in our curriculum and how this goes much more beyond just a single Scrum certification and being able to have that larger understanding. All of these courses we do provide throughout the length of the 6 weeks in our Slack workspace, where you can be able to watch those recordings after the fact, whether you've missed the class or you want to be able to just engage with it again to be able to absorb more of the material, because there's a lot that we've been able to fill in here. There's a lot of material to be able to cover. We really see this as the Agile MBA 101. And even as a 101, we've been a little ambitious in how much we can be able to put out there.
Yeah, something that Bahare, who's one of our Chingu admins, she took the last Agile MBA. And one of the things she told me a few weeks ago is there's enough content in each weekly session that she found it very helpful to obviously attend, but then to replay the session, because there was always something that she had missed or didn't understand. So I think that's another value of these sessions being recorded.
Sorry, related to the timing, it's about 1 hour and a half. Then I think this is not the only time the person need to spend or invest. Maybe there are some activities the person need to do in advance or after. Then this is not just 3 hours in a week. Maybe it's more than 3 hours, right?
One of the best ways that we would recommend getting practical experience is taking part in a Chingu voyage at the same time as taking part in this kind of class. And we really see the opportunities to build on what experience you're getting with Chingu, and also doing job hackers at the same time, or doing self-study or applying yourself to an open source project, or there's all sorts of different ways that we can be able to build on that experience. I certainly, as I said, this class, even with how deep it goes, is still just dipping your toe in the ocean. And one of the best ways to be able to really understand, have a much larger understanding, is not only taking part in those Friday discussion groups, which would add another further, 90-minute class on Fridays to that time period, but also finding ways to be able to start applying it right out the gate. We have a question in chat here about, are the recordings available for those who registered after the course is over? We provide it for the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks after. But when we start a new course, we shutter access to those initial recordings, because the classes we're presenting that are live are constantly being iterated on, and the material may change. So there's always the opportunity, if you've taken the class before, just take the class again, and you'll be able to have more of an opportunity. It has always been our goal, and it is always our intention and our mission to leave access to the full Agile MBA 101 class and course, be able to allow for free open enrollment for the period that's there. And so you are more than welcome to take the class more than once. And we have, I'd say, about 30% of the people that we've had in our classes have taken at least more than once. I know some people have taken it over 20 times. And they just kind of become a regular mainstay and are able to even join in as a facilitator in the discussions, to be able to bring their own experiences back as they have evolved in their own professional career. But we're really looking to build a community. This isn't just a single webinar or a single kind of thing that's a giveaway.
Hi,
Hi,
my name is Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hi. Question is, obviously, I know you mentioned about the classes. In terms of the commitment to attend classes, is there flexibility in case, I'm not able to attend like live classes? Because that's where my concern is, obviously, because I have family commitments. So, is how much of a commitment is it that we have to attend like live classes, or can we watch reruns of classes, in case we're not able, I'm myself personally not able to attend live classes?
Absolutely. And I added here in the chat to be able to just give people that heads up as well. But if you're not able to attend the classes live, we do provide access to those recordings in the Slack workspace that you are added to as a part of the Job Hackers community, not only through the length of the course, but for the duration of your time being a job hacker, which we've always seen, once you're a job hacker, you're always a job hacker. So you would have access to the recordings at least through the length of the course and a little bit after. And then you would also be able to join the course again in the future, should you choose. The two advantages that you are going to get being there live, and I highly recommend that you are there live, is one, being able to engage with and interact with our presenters and our facilitators through the chat, and being able to ask the actual questions. And it can really actually be a bit of a party on those days, on those class days, and the conversation that's going on in chat. We also do provide a certificate of attendance, and we just check attendance right now at the baseline of if you're at half the classes for half the time, so 6 classes for at least half of the time that's there. We know the internet connection issues and other kinds of things that can happen. Then we are happy to qualify you to be able to receive a certificate of attendance, much like how you can get a certificate from Chingu for a small contribution. But the piece of paper is a lot less important than the learning and the education that we're providing.
I asked those questions because obviously I'm mindful of the time difference as well, because I'm located in London. So maybe you're probably going by, is it Eastern time, your time?
This is Pacific time.
Pacific, okay.
So yeah. GMT minus 8.
Sorry?
GMT minus 8.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we had a question about the PDF here, and we've put that in the town hall chat to be able to give people a heads up. Jim, we have so many great people that are on this call, and I know that you know some of them personally from their experience as Chingu Voyagers. Who might have a good question? Who could we volunteer to, if they have anything that they want to ask?
Well, there are a lot of folks here. I would say that just going down the list, Andres, Dinesh, uh, Kanako, and Luiso, JD, quite a few people here actually. Omesha, who's already asked one or two questions, and Teresa. Yeah.
Hey, Don, how's it going? I saw that you had come off mute. If you have a question. No worries.
So I have a question. Is there a single attribute or a set of attributes that you think attendees or participants in the Agile MBA really need to bring to get the most out of it? What recommendations do you have to get the most value out of the course?
I think that's a great question, Jim. Nathan, I think you want to answer that first before.
Yeah. The word I've used is curiosity. And I've actually used the term terminal curiosity because it is that extra, you're always trying to find out new things. And in this case, how to communicate with others, to find new ways of working with your team. And it's kind of what you even do as developers when you're finding the latest published best practices and things like that. I've noticed that helps me a lot with the Scrum Master and the teams that I'm volunteering and doing my practicing on, including a Chingu team. So it's helped me a lot.
I would also say that the kinds of experience, being open to learning, being open to being wrong, being open to being humble about we may come to things from, we have an expectation about how we're doing things, but we talk about cognitive biases and our own internal cognitive biases and as we approach it as individuals and also what others may have. This is really about having that growth mindset of being able to adapt and flex to see a larger point of perspectives or a larger way of how to be able to approach problem sets and how to recognize that some problems need different kinds of solutions. And that's going to be incredibly valuable for individuals here, not only as developers, but also Scrum Masters, project managers, product owners, or just anyone that is giving their time towards making something happen. We've just as much seen people apply this to what they're doing to put together their local church social and putting together events that they are having in their community, as we have had people building multi-million-dollar software. Those that go through this course are not just on the tech side of things, but we're all doing knowledge work to one way or another. So we've had teachers, nurses, architects, educators, artists of all sorts and stripes, all going through this course and have been able to take away new ways that they can build on their process for the actual means of creation. Omesha, it's a great question. What changes or progress do participants report after completing the program? We can be able to point to, there's what I almost think of as maybe a little bit more vanity, but that individuals go and they do complete the Scrum certification. I would say that about 95% of our job hackers attend, or we're down to 90%, but it's because of the number of people that have gone through our program at this point. 90% of our job hackers that go through this class are able to pass the Scrum certification kinds of courses within the first or second try. I believe it might be. We also have just seen individuals that have been able to make full transitions into the tech industry, if that's what they were looking to do. People that were working in science museums that then went on to becoming high-level project managers at FANG companies. We've seen people that saw the next step up from being senior project managers to VP level at particular financial and banking institutions. We've seen people that have just taken what they've learned. I've mentioned nurses before, and being able to move it back to their shifts and being able to promote themselves internally within the organizations they're at. The level of success that people have been able to take from the learnings they have here is also self-directed by what they put in. So I would love to be able to fully say that it was just our own contributions, but it's always a matter of who is joining our course and how much they're already contributing. Jim, do you mind going ahead and muting that other audio? Thank you so much. Don has a great question for you, Jim, here. Just related to Chingu, if you go through the Agile MBA, would it qualify you for taking part in that Tier 3 voyage as a Scrum Master or shadowing a Scrum Master?
Yeah, there are really two requirements to participating as a product owner or a Scrum Master. And I'm assuming this is coming from this is true no matter what, but you have to complete a solo project that has a quiz that is representative of some of the questions you would see on a product owner or Scrum Master certification. In addition, if you're a product owner, you have to submit a sample product backlog. Nothing complicated, but just something to demonstrate that you understand how to build a backlog. Now, if you have either a product owner certification or a Scrum Master certification, you can participate as a primary product owner or Scrum Master in a voyage. If you don't have those, for your first voyage as a product owner or Scrum Master, you're designated as being a shadow. And what that is you will shadow a primary product owner or Scrum Master who can provide some mentoring. It's also so you can observe to see, how do they coordinate the activities of the team. We don't like to say manage the team because at Chingu, everyone in a voyage team is at the same level. There are no managers. There's no hierarchy or reporting structure. Everything we do is through motivation, essentially. But hopefully that answers the question. That's the background on that. But absolutely, if I think that going through the Agile MBA, whether you're in some other role and you're just interested in what product ownership and being a Scrum Master involves, that has a lot of value. We've also had Chingus who were developers that are transitioning to product owner and Scrum Master, and they've taken advantage of it. And as Edward and Nathan said, after the first 2 weeks of the Agile MBA, you'll have the information you need to take one of the certifications, like the PSM1. I had another question. Is there any homework assigned as part of the Agile MBA, and are there any exams or tests that students have to pass?
Yeah, we're looking to expand on more ways of assessing. Any exams that we were to do with the Agile MBA would be a matter of understanding what our students were taking away from our program, what they were taking away from our course, so that we can further iterate and build on our own class. Right now, the certificate that we offer is a certificate of attendance, not a certificate of understanding or quality or larger validation that you can be able to take this and be able to provide it to other opportunities. For that exact reason, we understand that we are providing a very large set of disciplines and education that can be very abstract. And so we're looking at narrowing that focus and understanding how we could be able to test for that. But at this time, When it comes to exams, we don't have any exams or any testing around that. I would recommend people take part in our Friday discussion groups so that they can test themselves by taking part in those live case study discussions. When it comes to if there's homework, all of our slides, all of our presentations were built off of primary sources and primary materials, and I'm always going to advocate for people reading those primary sources and continuing to build and learn on what they're being offered. So there's no strictly homework per se, but we certainly direct people towards some great books to be able to engage with.
And by the way, this is one area to where this partnership between the job hackers and Chingu really can come into play, because now you've picked up the mind shift, you've picked up the theory and the things that the MBA provides, and now you put it into practice. So there's your homework. There's your final project, your practicum, how you apply, and that can really help you make certain you really do understand and work with the communications as you go forward.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. And yeah, we view this as Chingu views this as a pipeline. We don't do instruction. So, the job hackers does that very well. So they're providing the knowledge and the information. What we provide is the practice, or the opportunity to practice, I should say. Yeah, we're just pausing. We see that people are typing. So
yeah, and we've had some great questions today, and I just want to take a moment to be able to acknowledge as we're going through. It's always beneficial when this is a bit of a roundtable format. I'm happy that Nathan and I were able to get up bright and early to be here to present and give people knowledge about this opportunity that's out there.
Pardon me.
We'd love to see you become one of our job hackers.
Yep.
I had another question. Are the Friday night sessions open to anyone, or only if you're enrolled in the class?
Same time as the classes, so Friday mornings, 7:30 to 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
And they're open to any of our alumni or those that are currently taking the class. We provided a separate link. There's a separate space to join them.
Okay.
I can say for the Friday discussion group, it's never boring because you get to review test questions for when you go to take the PSM1. And there's a case study where we are broken down into individual groups, and we have a facilitator who runs through the case, and we discuss the case, and then we come back into the main room and we discuss what we, discussed in the group, and then we present it to the main group. So it always is something that you're always building on every week, because every week has a different case.
And regarding the extracurricular activities question, Edward, you can probably answer better, but I know we have the meetups, and did we go over that as one of the?
We mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'm going to stop my stream so it's not flickering around, and then I'll bring it back up here because we have a lot of different other opportunities. I'll go ahead and share just that full screen that we had here of just other continuous learning opportunities that we offer. But what I mentioned here in the chat is we not only have our monthly meetups that are on the last Tuesday of every month, where we have speakers from all across different perspectives related to Agile, as well as being able to find your way into jobs that are in this environment. We also have our resume office hours that we have from 7 to 9 p.m. on Pacific every other Wednesday, where we are providing, we don't record those because we're providing a psychologically safe environment for individuals to be able to come and talk about their job experiences and how we can be able to elevate the resources they have for finding future placement, as well as we have our Ask an Agile Coach lean coffee sessions 1 to 2 times a month. Typically, I think those are Tuesdays around 5:30 in the evening, maybe 6. I'd have to go back and double check with our current Agile coach that's been volunteering those. But all of these have been built out as programs that are all volunteer-led and run efforts based out of what the job hackers that have taken the courses are looking to be able to get more advantages out of. The Friday discussion groups happen at the same time as the classes, so from 7:30 to 9 a.m. Pacific, GMT -8, because we're currently on Pacific Standard Time. I had a great time here today, Jim. I think we should move towards wrapping it up.
Yeah, I think so too. It's if anyone has any last questions, now's the time to ask them. And if there are none, then we will start wrapping this up. We're basically at an hour into this. Again, if the recording work, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to encourage people to be able to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I'm going to go ahead. We are also on Blue Sky as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@thejobhackers.org. That's going to be the best way to get a hold of us to be able to provide some additional context and information.
Cool. Well, thanks again. I appreciate, as always, Edward, you and Nathan's willingness to help out Chingus and to share what you're doing. This has actually been a pretty strong relationship. Just the background for Chingus. We've been doing this now for 6 or 8 months, and it's worked out really, really well because of that pipeline concept. It's just a natural transition between gaining knowledge and then being able to apply that at Chingu to build your skills, to build experience. So again, thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you most of all for your questions. They were great questions. Love the interaction. And with that, we will see everyone at the next roundtables next week. So thank you very much. Thanks again, Edward and Nathan. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Fantastic having you all.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend. Bye-bye.
Stay well.
Thank you, everyone.